Good evening, sisters. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that I'm finally here with you. I think I've needed to get back into the swing of things more than anyone. I'm gonna see if I am able, looks like I'm not able to invite anyone that would like to join, but Facebook no longer gives me that option. Let me try one more. No. So I don't have the option. So if you don't see me live, that is okay. You can communicate with me through the comments. So when you do watch this, say, hi, I'm here. As you're watching, I respond, or I try to respond to every single comment that I see. It looks like you're getting mostly my ceiling. Let me try to adjust this for you. There you go. Oh, no, I can't tag to. I just thought I saw another spot. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Cheryl Partridge, and I refer to myself as the grandmother, or just Spirit came to me a few years ago, and I stepped into bravery to give you this message. If you are not familiar with the Sacred Women Principles, I invite you to have the opportunity to go to our Sacred Sisterhood Tribe website. It's sacredsisterhoodtribe.com. And if you go to live ceremonies, if you are wanting to know, how can I change the world? How can I myself make a difference in this world? And the way that you do this is through doing the work at home. And that is how we change the world. And as we're changing the world, we can come together as one because we're learning the Sacred Women Principles. So other women in this group, we could have different belief systems, different political views. Everything could be different. But because we're practicing these Sacred Women Principles, we can all come together because we're all doing this work at home. So tonight, if you're here, make sure you say hi. If you are able to have other women join us, please do. We're going to start out with our typical ceremony. If you were with me this last couple of years, you'll know we'll start with our Sacred Sisterhood prayer. Then I have a very unique prayer specifically for the fall equinox. Happy autumn. Today is our first day, which is when I thought this would be perfect to come back to see you. I've had a lot of changes over the summer, and I needed to work on me. So then we're going to go into a few principles, and I will talk about then our sacred power cycles. But first, please, in the comments below, please tell me, how was your summer? For me, my summer, I lost my dear, I call her my first daughter, my dog, for baby Roxy. And we also lost our cat, so we lost our animals this summer. And we have brought in another person into our lives for a while. So that has been great change. We are almost through our homeschooling schedule, and we are about to end. We end at the end of fall. So all of those things are happening, and so with that, I can now come to you, so it's very exciting. So let us start. We always light, before every ceremony, we light the white candle of unity. And I am sorry, my phone seems to be taking a lot of battery, so I'm on battery saver. So hopefully, let me see if I can, there we go, make it not so dark. So we're going to light the white candle of unity. If you have a white candle at home, that is fantastic. This white candle symbolizes, even though we cannot be together in person, we can be together in spirit. And if you don't have a white candle at home, that is okay. This white candle is for you. And at this time, where it is the full moon, taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, think of one thing that you would just like to let go of. Blow it into the flame, and now create space. Today we are going to talk about the Sacred Women Principles space. So it will be perfect for that. All right, we are now going to start our ceremony by saying our sacred sisterhood prayer. This is also on the website. Freedom of lineage. We are here to celebrate our connection to each other, our sacred cycles, and who we are. We are here to bless our paths as we become one by learning our sacred women principles. I ask all of our highest divine of love, of peace, of joy, of happiness, and kindness to awaken every cell in me, around me weaving divine light and love in sisterhood. I am an empowered woman living her truth. Adorned and celebrating my feminine power, I see and am seen. I hear and am heard. I love and am loved. I witness and I am witnessed. We are an infinite bridge between heaven and earth. Allow my truth to flow through me, opening to love in all ways. I am alive. I bear life. I light the way. May we be at home in our wombs and free in our hearts as we walk in love. Ah, that prayer is just so powerful for me. So we are going to be talking about tonight our power cycle. And for some of you who are not familiar with what that is, I refer to our power cycle as the 4 seasons. And that is why I like to come on, especially with you, especially during the different phases of the seasons, because they do relate to the 4 phases of our menstrual cycle. So we are walking into fall. Fall is actually, or autumn is going to be synonym to, or our luteal phase of our cycle. So between ovulation and menstruation. And so the fall phase, we experience fall in our bodies every single month. It's just amazing that we have this opportunity. So as we have fall within our bodies, the fall season, we are able to enhance that piece of our bodies until we enter into winter, which is it's the most powerful time of our lives and most powerful time in our bodies. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but we'll get even deeper into that into winter. So the luteal phase is the time when women are feeling the most agitated, when there feels like there isn't enough time for anything, there isn't enough space to be who we are as women, that everything's in a hurry. And this is when our society has made us feel that it is time to speed up, right? School starts, things happen, we're just going, everything is revving up. When in reality, within our bodies, within what is supposed to happen, this is our harvest time. This is when things are supposed to be starting to celebrate, calm down, relief, until we go into the stillness of winter. So if you're ever having a question of how we are supposed to be in our power cycle, or how biologically we're supposed to be, you look to the tree and to nature to communicate with you. This is the time that we stock up for winter, which I know a lot of us are doing right now. And it's time to start to begin to slow down. And I know you're saying, Cheryl, that it just feels impossible. I will tell you that the world and our society, we're almost experiencing, or in the past we've been experiencing, the upside down. Right? The upside down, everything speeding up when everything is actually supposed to be slowing down. So I invite you with this opportunity, as I bring this to your awareness, is give yourself permission to not paddle upstream, but to go biologically the way that we're supposed to be flowing, which is celebration, relief, and starting to rest our bodies, getting prepared for harvest, for winter. Okay, so that means creating space, and that's what we're going to be diving into. But before we do, I want to give you, for people that don't know the 4 phases of your cycle, because a lot of people don't, including our teens, Our first phase is going to be our follicular cycle, which is going to be spring. So it's right after our last bleed. That's spring or follicular cycle. We go into ovulation, and that's summer. And then we head into fall and then into winter. I am not sure if another teacher has expressed these, our 4 phases of our cycle within the seasons. I haven't read that. Maybe there is out there, but that is what Spirit has communicated with me is the proper way for women to truly understand how our power cycle is. So in the spring phase of our cycle is when we plant seeds of new growth. So planting new ideas, new creation, creativity, fresh foods. We're starting to gear up, right, for summer. Summer is all about caring for those seeds that we've taken care of. So it's a lot of work, really putting ourselves out there, saying, hey, is this going to work? Trying something, it failing, trying something, it succeeding, that sort of thing, right? Fall is about starting to slow down, harvest what we have done, clearing out any weeds or debris that need to be cleaned up, because we need to make room or space for us to be able to have spring again, right? And so that is what that fall phase is. Then we go into the stillness of winter. This is when we menstruate. Winter would be your menstruation, when the right brain and the left brain have a beautiful conversation and sing together, and we're able to really dig deep and go, okay, what do we need to let go of? The bleed. What do we need to bring in from the heavens, and creating that womb space to be able to create new spring growth and around again. And so in our bodies, we have that every month, but within the season, so fall, our luteal phase, that power luteal phase tends to heighten. Now, when we're not in sync with our bodies and in sync with nature, it can feel really uncomfortable, right? Women often complain that they get angry easily, frustrated, that they're blunt, which is you're supposed to be. This is the honesty part of your phase. When it feels like there's not enough time, and that's because you're resisting the flow. So this is when mathematics, scheduling, planning, just like you would for your garden. This is when all of that, just kind of enjoying, starting to slow down. These are all indications, weight-bearing exercise. This is all part of that fall phase of your cycle, or your luteal phase. So those are the 4 phases of your cycle. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. If you feel like you would like a separate class on this, also write in the comments below. All right. So the next part of our ceremony, I would like to give homage to the full moon that we just had. Diane did such a good job on our last ceremony. Really appreciate her so much. So we just talked about the four seasons, and so I really wanted to, wanted to pay homage to that. So let us close our eyes and let's be in a prayer around the 4 seasons. The 4 seasons happens in nature and all around us, but it also happens inside of us, in our souls. It can happen inside of us in summer or winter, spring or fall. In the still place of our soul, we carry sweet wishes, pains, frustrations, loneliness, fears, regrets, and worries. Becoming aware as now the seasons of this month passes slowly, it also passes behind us. And a new growth of the next coming month arises is not something to be afraid of. Sometimes we go to the still place of our soul where we can find safety and comfort. Becoming awake and needing to move can be happy and joyous, but growing pains can also be painful. Moving forward into our previous month's seeds can awaken what no longer serves us. This could mean people, places, and comforts that need to be shed to allow our spirit to move forward in growth in the direction that our soul is asking to move. So I wanted to share that with you, to realize that the world, and especially if you or the people around you are in a really uncomfortable place, it could be your spirit, your soul, something you don't have control over, your environment, the people, the world. Know that, especially when there's forces beyond your control, what you can do is plant seeds and co-create the life that you truly want to live by embracing that change just within yourself, then within your home, maybe within your family, then your friend families. And then you can go to the world, because you alone make so much of a difference. And so if you're consistently focusing outside of yourself, then you're not able to truly make that change, which is within. And that is where our power comes from. Today we are going to talk about, and before we talk, I want to talk about space within our bodies. Starting this month, I would recommend going to the sacredsisterhoodtribe.com, and you could start with space, and I would recommend space, listening, stillness, and yes, I would just focus on those 3 principles: space, listening, and stillness. So you have got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got about 8 weeks. If you wanted to, 12 weeks to really, if you want to get into forgiveness, that you could be really working on self. And this is the perfect time to do this. So let us talk about space just for a few minutes. So the definition of space, or what is the definition of space? Space is boundless 3-dimensional extent in which objects and events have relative position and direction. That space, holding space, our womb space, right? We have our cerebellum, right, in our brains, which is that almost similar to that womb space, but in our brain. We know this as holy space or consciousness. And ancients lived by a cosmic creation, which everything was birthed and dissolved through that womb space. There's a lot of meditations, there's a lot of, especially with women, around that womb, that cosmic womb space, or the black hole. For men, their focus of that cerebellum and of that space. And sisters, menstruation is the secret of the greatest renewal rites. And it's not just of man, right? It's of all that's here on earth. The womb is life affirmating and death, right? It's bringing in life, it's letting go. When we lose touch with our womb space, consciousness, death, and out of breath, right? Our lungs, think of our lungs have space. We're disharmonious way. We become afraid to let go of that womb space. Teaches us to surrender and to let go into the wild and unknown. So holding space, what does that mean for you in your life right now? We're coming out of summer. Today's the first day of autumn or fall, the fall equinox. And what does that mean in your life? Are you holding space for winter? Are you creating this space so that you're not in this constant frustration and anger and panic because you've got so much to do? Or are you holding space so that the rhythm of life feels peaceful and happy and calm? Have you cultivated where you don't have any space? Or have you cultivated a life that you have too much space? You can go both ways, right? So really creating the life that you want is recognizing space, right? And I'm a big Einstein fan. So Albert Einstein says relativity is the observation that creates time and space. So I remember last week, Sophia, we're driving down and we're talking, we're having a great time. It was after dance class. And she was like, "Oh, Mom, that was fast." And so we had an opportunity to talk about relative time or perspective. For her, that was really fast. It was happy. We talked. And I said, that time in the car that we weren't getting along and we were both really uncomfortable? And she said, yeah, it felt like the car ride was forever. She was like, yeah. And I said, that's also time. It's perspective. So when you're looking at your life, and I know there's a lot going on in the world, are you able to take time and space to push that part of the world out so that you can create the life that you want to create? Are you living in your kingdom? How is that womb space helping you cultivate that? Have you talked to that womb space, especially when you're menstruating? If you're not menstruating, if you're the wise woman, right? And you're in that winter phase of your cycle, which means you're celebrating all 4 phases of your cycle. So are you cultivating that space to create that life that you want? So that is, I just want to make sure that there isn't anything I'm called to talk to you about. So there is one more thing, and that's why I like to check it out. I would like you to make a vow to yourself today and this week. I'm going to come on also next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Is it uncomfortable for you to sit in the void, to sit in this space, to create a day? I'm a homeschool mom, so it's crazy busy. I've started helping my friend with Wild Ones Academy. So I'm in that, creating homeschool dances. I've got the Sacred Sisterhood tribe, 2 children, husband. Life is really busy, dance classes, horseback riding, all the things. But my day flows in this peaceful, not all the time. Okay, full disclosure, not all the time. But for the most part, and how do I do this? I do this by making sure I'm holding space, what's working, what's not working, and what can I let go. And that is what fall's about. What can you harvest and appreciate with gratitude? And what can you say, this is not working, I'm done. I'm setting up those boundaries. I'm pulling out those weeds. I'm throwing it. I'm going to start to plan for next year so I don't repeat what happened the previous year. I'm moving forward. I'm not staying here or staying behind. I'm also in the moment. Create that, hold that space, create that space. So with that, thank you so much for being with me. And I do invite you, I'm just looking at my book, I do invite you to listen to the full principle at our sacredsisterhoodtribe.com on space. You'll see every week you can do a new teaching, and I encourage you to journal. I will have a book and that sort of thing out soon. Let us go into our prayer for healing, which I think is so important, and I dropped it on the ground. One sec. All right. So I'm just gonna have a cup of I love this time of year Tulsi tea, and I like the red rose. It's under Magic and Miracles. Okay. I'm also gonna put this up on YouTube, because I noticed Facebook isn't, even when Diane goes on, I don't get a chance to see it. So I will make sure it's up there also. And please share it if you'd like. All right, our prayer for healing. If you want to close your eyes, and I want you not just to picture yourself, but I want you to picture your friends and your family and the people that you love and care about. And now I just want you to extend that energy into your community, even the people you don't like. And now I want you to extend that energy to the world, and you just observe the world. a prayer for healing. Source of divine love and the healing power of grace and of peace and of kindness and communication. I place in your gentle care our need for healing and the healing of my friends, my family, my neighbors, and especially my enemies. I now ask you to fill our hearts with your transcending and transforming love. I now ask you to heal our life, that we may receive your unconditional love and healing. As we accept and receive this amazing blessing, all wounds and pain are offered up to you. Thank you, our divine, as we walk in love. And when I say the word divine, the intent is God, the source of all. But definitely put your highest belief system in there. All right, we will end with our Sisterhood song. A special thank you to Twinkle, who was one of my greatest teachers. And I haven't sang this in so long, so I'm excited, but I'm not a singer by any means. But please join in. All right. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Last time. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. And sister, you are deeply connected to my soul. Please remember, together we can change this world, but we've got to start at home. I love you. I will see you next Wednesday, and I will try to put this up on YouTube for everyone. I love you all. I'll see you next week. Bye.